Well, good afternoon, everybody.
Happy Monday. Hope
Happy
everyone's
Monday.
having a nice start to a new work week. We were just talking about there's some pleasant changes in the weather world that's currently happening.
Oh, yeah, it just feels so much better compared to how we started off last week's Monday, when
Yep.
it was just, we had those extreme heat warnings, heat advisories.
Right.
Not the case today.
Yeah.
Luckily, with those northerly winds that we got coming in, just really just depressing that humidity level, keeping it a little bit low.
Yes, it's going to keep things much more comfortable. Sure, we're still going to be in the 90s likely across much of the region, if not pretty close to that. But as far as the heat index goes, that's going to feel a lot more bearable for this time of the year and what we're used to. And that is all because we've got a stationary front to our south. That's where the focal point of that rain and thunderstorm activity is going to be. But again, we are seeing that north wind, and that's bringing in a drier air mass across central Mississippi.
Yeah, and the other thing that we got going on, I know this map is glitching a little bit
It's
right
a
now.
little
It's all over the place.
crazy.
But the dry line is draped right across our central parts, basically cutting off the Magnolia State in half. So everything that's farther out to the east, you can see a little bit thicker cloud coverage developing out there, and parts of Alabama with that thicker cloud coverage. Right now, they're just in the mid 80s. I was looking at some of their high temperatures.
Yeah.
It's feeling really cool, just in general across the southeast, and especially, like Gracie said, with that stationary front farther down to our south, all those northerly winds coming into our area.
Yeah, and we won't rule out some stray showers across the region, but the chance of rain is going to stay pretty low throughout much of the week. And the good news is we're not going to be tracking any organized system that's bringing us heavy rainfall across the region. So temperatures right now are in the upper 80s, and dew points are in the middle and upper 60s. That's the biggest story for us because we've been seeing these temperatures close to 90 and in the mid 90s, but those dew point temperatures have been more so in the mid and upper 70s, and that's what made it feel so oppressive last week as far as humidity goes. But with that north wind at 7 miles per hour, it only feels like 92.
Yeah, it just feels so much better. I know this weekend just felt better in general,
Yeah.
too, especially yesterday. It was just a beautiful day out there. Now, today we're expecting just to warm up just a tad bit more, upper 80s, lower 90s, so actually just a tad bit below average
Yeah.
finally for this time of the year, and mostly sunny conditions, but like Gracie said, we could see a few stray showers popping up and developing, especially farther down to our southeast.
Yeah, and those clouds too in our southern and eastern counties, those will help keep temperatures a little bit cooler as far as if you're east of Interstate 55. But folks west of I-55, we may warm more so into the low and even low 90s, but closer to average as well. But overnight, we'll see partly cloudy skies, so a quiet night for us. A stray shower could linger across our Pine Belt counties, but there's a little bit of discrepancy in those models as far as
Yeah.
if rain will stick with us later tonight. I think we'll probably be dry, and temperatures will drop to the upper 60s and low 70s, right near average, if not even below that. So again, pleasant changes compared to last week.
Yeah, and I know one thing that's been happening in the mornings is that there has been some patchy fog here and there. It hasn't been as widespread across like our viewing area, but I know just a
Right.
few of us that are closer to the Mississippi River have been seeing a little bit of that fog develop. So just if you're waking up real early in the morning, of course, just be careful as you're heading out.
Yeah,
the
look
door.
out for that.
Yeah, now take a look at the rain chances throughout the week. They're not at zero, but they're staying lower. They're going to
Right.
vary from like a 30 to 20% chance as we go throughout the rest of this work week, going into this weekend as well. So we can track out when it comes to the rest of today. Of course, this afternoon, no surprise, we had those isolated showers popping up to the southeast. And then this is where the model gets a little bit, let's say, all over the place. Once we get to around that 5 to 6 p.m. hour,
Yeah.
it has better development closer to, let's say, 55 corridor, basically, closer to the metro area. However, some other models don't have it as widespread. I know the
Have
Her
it-
had
yeah.
just like a tiny little one here and there, but this one just a little bit better coverage. It's looking like
Yeah,
that
I think
graph
we're
model.
we're definitely agreeing. The consensus of the model is really just expecting the best chances of rain in our southeastern counties. So in the Pine Belt, from Jefferson Davis County further south into Covington County and Marion, Lamar, Forest. If you're watching from WHLT market there, that's where we're expecting some better coverage of rain. But a stray shower across the metro and maybe along the Interstate 20 corridor, not out of the question.
Yeah, it all depends, like what we were showing you earlier with that dry line system, as it's draped right across that central parts of Mississippi. If it moves its way a little bit farther out to the west, I think we could see a little bit better development when it comes to this evening, but I just don't expect that to happen when it comes to today. Now, taking a look as we go into the overnight, we dry up, of course, dry start to our Tuesday. It's going to be nice as you head out the door. Then we get to the afternoon hours again, and isolated showers are going to be
Right,
possible with
popping
popping
up.
up right around that, let's say, 1 o'clock hour. Then we go throughout the evening. and they're going to keep developing and affecting us until around 5 p.m., and especially some stronger ones that are farther down to the southeast, but no surprise at all with that developing, with that stationary front. The closer you are to it, the better the development you get.
Yep,
Then-
absolutely. Go ahead. And Wednesday, we're
Yeah.
same thing. We do it all over again. Low chances of rains, but we're talking about no organized system coming through. So dry to start off the morning on Wednesday, and then into the afternoon, we are going to see maybe a stray shower or storm. But as far as any heavy rainfall goes, not expecting it. If you're in our southern counties, closer to the coast, that's where you can bet on some better coverage of rain.
Oh yeah, that's for sure. Now, going throughout that Wednesday, looks like Wednesday with this graph model, it does have these storms developing better farther out towards south and southeast, which is absolutely no surprise there. So between those afternoon hours into the evening, you can expect those storms to develop. But of course, we get past and we get into the overnight sunsets, we dry out again, and another nice start when it comes to your Thursday. So take a look at our QPF here. You can see along that stationary front, that's where the best rain chances are coming, heavy
Right.
downpours.
Right, in Alabama, honestly, we're looking at some heavier rainfall with that system being closer to that area of low pressure. So some folks in Alabama are actually under a flood watch over the next couple days, and so might want to watch out for that. Maybe if you're headed down to the Alabama coast or the Florida coast, some heavy rainfall will be possible over the next 7 days, but also keep in mind this is over a 7-day period, so we're not expecting 2 to 3 inches in one day for folks there. But for our neck of the woods, the good news is, again, that stationary front is so far south that we're expecting only about half an inch of rainfall over the next 7 days, which is telling us that weather's pretty quiet right now, and
Yeah.
that north wind and that drier air mass is going to stick with us. We could see that humidity creeping back up later this week, but I really don't think it's going to be enough to send our heat index value over 105.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. It's just going to be a slow creep. It's not going to be a big jump when
Yeah.
it comes to this work week. So yeah, overall, this forecast that we're doing just really looks nice. It just
Yeah.
looks great overall. Now, of course, we got to talk about the tropics.
Tropics,
So
yeah.
let's get to it. We have Tropical Storm Dexter that formed, and right now still a tropical storm. It has winds that are inside of about 45 miles per hour. And the last time I checked, it had a center pressure, I believe, of 1,002 millibars. So
Yeah.
still just tropical storm limits right now. And the nice thing about this system, it's not going to affect the U.S. coast. It's going to keep pushing its way to the northeast, just going out into the Atlantic and going away from us. So that's
Yeah.
always a good thing.
And not impacting any land masses, which is a great thing for us. Our 4th named storm of the season, and it is just going to move right away from the U.S., which is good news. Last time I looked at it as well, moving about 14 miles per hour to the north and east, so quickly moving, and it is going to weaken as it moves further into the central Atlantic, but we're looking good, and we're looking quiet right now, but there's still more activity in the Atlantic basin. That's what we're watching now. Low chance of development off the eastern coast of the U.S. that we could see some development over the next 7 days, but it's a 30% chance now, so nothing imminent that we're watching, especially across the Gulf.
Yeah, and especially with this system, I've been looking at some of the models here, and it reminds me a lot of Invest 93L like we saw. It just doesn't have enough time to develop. It's a surface low, and it's definitely going to be a little bit more of a wet weather maker when it comes to areas like in Georgia, South Carolina, and of course the eastern side of Florida as well. But overall, doesn't look like much. But then we have another system.
Yeah.
And this is the one that we're really going to have to keep an eye on. So no development as of yet. It's a tropical wave that's coming right off that coast of Africa, moving its
Yeah.
way west.
But this is what we watch this time of the year, is these waves that can really encounter some good hot and high sea surface temperatures, and get the fuel they need to strengthen. I've been closely watching this as well, but we've got plenty of time to track this, so no need to fret or to worry at the moment, because it is a medium chance of development. But this is the time of the year we really have to start looking a little further out to our east, because off the western coast of Africa is where a lot of those tropical waves come from.
Yeah, and we just have those favorable conditions.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like Gracie was saying, we'll keep tracking this system, of course, and keep an eye on it. And I know there's going to be a lot of stuff where people are already posting models of it going in.
Don't buy
look
in.
into it
Don't
yet.
drink the Kool-Aid. Please just find a reliable source, and
Yeah.
don't let those
Don't panic. Once we get closer to it, basically, we'll keep watching this. I know we're interested in it, of course, because our job and we love it. But yeah, we'll keep on watching this system, and as we go through the next several days, we'll keep on updating everybody. Now, talking about the peak hurricane season, we just got into the month of August. And
Yeah.
the second we got into it, it was just like boom.
I know,
systems
it's so
right
funny.
away.
It's like the Atlantic heard that it was August 1st or something, and then we're watching all these waves. But we only have one named storm right now, and it's not going to impact the U.S., so really good news there. But the story is that we're likely going to see the activity across the Atlantic Basin ramp up over the next few weeks. So September 10th is typically our peak time for hurricane season. But as you guys know, we're already tracking a little bit more activity out in the Atlantic.
Yep, and as we keep on progressing, of course, it's going to be it's going to be an interesting season, I think,
Yeah.
so far. So we'll just keep on tracking this, and yeah, once we get closer to September, we'll see really what happens.
Right, but the good news is too, the latest update came out that we are expecting a little bit lower activity from the National Hurricane Center as well. That they updated the new one, and
Yeah.
so it could be a near normal. Originally, we were expecting above normal. For named storms, for tropical storms, and for major hurricanes as well. But now it's looking more to be a near normal, near average season.
That's always a good thing to hear.
Yep.
Yep. So we'll recap your 8-day forecast real quick. This week, it really just does look nice. Morning lows in the lower 70s. Highs going to be in those lower 90s, and rain chances just varying from 20 to 30% chances over the next several days.
Yeah, I'll take the low 90s all day after last week making it to 100 degrees and the upper 90s. This is going to feel a lot better, and today I think our humidity will be the lowest. We're going to see that slow climb in humidity values as we head into the latter portion of the work week, but we're still only warming to 93 Friday and Saturday, and again, that is average for this time of the year. The chance of rain is low as well, so if you have plans this weekend, as of now, we're keeping the chance of rain at about 20%, so it looks like you're in luck.
Yeah, it's going to be turning out to be an overall just nice week and weekend ahead.
Yeah. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we hope that you have a great rest of your Monday. We'll be back tomorrow to give you your afternoon weather briefing.
Yep. Have a good one, everybody.